I wanna wear you. But up, I wanna wear. Sorry, I'm late. Shit. Well, I was tweeting about fucking Taysom Hill, sucking, and how he's gonna play less than Jameis next year. It wasn't. I mean, it was my thinking on it. You NBA people, you don't give a fuck. My thinking on it is, I believe that. But, we had to tweet it in a funny way. The analysis is Drew Brees couldn't throw, Jameis can. Jameis couldn't see, then he gets LASIK, and now he can see. Analysis part 2, Taysom Hill can't throw, Jameis can. Brees couldn't run, Jameis more mobile. I mean, this is logical stuff, people. Analysis part 3, this isn't fucking Army and Navy, right? This is the motherfucking big leagues, bub. No 2 QB splits. I see people on podcasts. I mean, I've listened to like 2 free agency podcasts, but both podcasts think that Jameis Winston, who was signed last night, and Taysom Hill are going to just split 50-50 the snaps. Like this is fucking high school football, right? They're going to run. Sean Payton's going to run an organized offense with 2 quarterbacks. Yeah, okay. I mean, maybe he's ahead of his time. Right? Create confusion, create deception. Maybe. Yeah. But perhaps. But I don't think so. Taysom Hill will get his 3 to 4 touches a game. But we're here for the NBA. How you doing? Big turtleneck swag. That shit made me laugh, that singing voice. You don't know that song? Is it I Want to Wear You? I always used to sing I Want to Wear You, but that sounds real fucked up. I want to wear you. Ba-dum-bum. You like that shit? The Fresh Prince of DFS is here. Our boy Sal. Hey, yo. Afternoon Salvatore has the Reggie Block play looking. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I got him for like 19 fantasy points. Not looking too good. I'll be honest with you. I ain't gonna sit here and bullshit you. I'm gonna be honest with you. It ain't looking that good, my guy. It ain't looking that good. Reggie Block. Let's pull up Reggie Block right now. Reggie Block for the New York Knicks. We don't have Derrick Rose, and we do not have any Alfred Payne, who's doubtful, so I guess he's not officially ruled out yet. But let's pull it up. Right now for you. So Reggie Block for me, 26 minutes, about 19 fantasy points. I should probably pull up those projections, huh? Guy. So, pulling up the projections right now. I appreciate you all being here. What's up? What's popping? How y'all doing? Having a good day over here. We chilling. We just had some cauliflower gnocchi. Yeah. We put a little bit of sauce on that. Hey, we put a little bit of ground beef in that. Oh, and now we feeling like shit. And now we feeling like shit because I had to scarf that shit down. God damn, get on this thing. Pop my pills, pop my vitamin D pills, my motherfucking CBD gummies. I got Reggie Block for 17.1 points. So not good, bub. Not somebody I want to be playing, my guy. What's up, Sal? Any interest in Damian Jones today? Also a no for me. So it seems that people want to be getting some of these lower end guys. Damian Jones of the world. I currently have Damian Jones, Lakers today. So you're going to be getting that Marc Gasol run for Damian Jones. Not right now the biggest interest for me personally. I'll be honest with you. I have Damian Jones for 16 minutes. I don't have him projecting out that well at 10, about 11 fantasy points for me today. Sal's the king of DFS content, says my man Josh Allen. Hey, if one of the MVP candidates, top 5 MVP candidate, maybe top 3 this past year, Josh Allen, gets to the Final Four, is in the chat saying that I'm the king of DFS content, I ain't gonna back down. I think I'm just the king of content. That's the goal, right? Actually, that really ain't the goal. That's really not the goal. I'm just bullshitting you. I'm just trying to have a good time, right? I ain't here for a long time. I'm just here for a good time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You missed it yesterday, Sal. What happened, David Evans? What'd I miss? We got Unicorn in here saying the early bird catches the worm. Fellas, let's give up for the man, Sal Vetri. Yeah, ladies, gentlemen, fellas. Happy National Everything You Know Is Right Day. Happy National Free the Information Day. We're about to free that motherfucking shit. Take it through the fucking computer screen, phone screen. How you doing? Any updates on the Dollarooski dozen at the moment? Yeah, we finalized the projections, the rankings, the ratings, projections, all that type of stuff. The optimizer is loaded. It's loaded. All you 511 patrons, go eat. We feed you, right? We feed you brunch today. We released that shit at like 11. It's been updated throughout the day. We feed you brunch. I'll put the link to the optimizer. We'll take a look at some optimized lineups during the stream. We'll take a look at prize picks in a little while. Some of the top prize picks. I saw some people in the Discord getting in and getting hooked up on prize picks. You should. It's a ton of fun. And they're giving a massive deposit bonus right now of 100% match up to $100. That code SAL gets you it. Hey, Sal, can you talk about the difference in lineup strategy between single entry And the average 150 max lineup. Thanks and keep up the great work, my guy. Yeah, so what's going on, Austin? Great question. It's going to depend on the size of the field you're playing in. So you're playing in a single entry 30, 40,000 person contest. It's not going to be that different, to be completely honest with you, right? It's not going to be that different. Obviously, you're making one lineup compared to 150. So on 150, you can get more exposures. You can get more exposure to these lower-end, flaky-type plays and hope they get you 20, 22, 24 points, right? So that's one side of it. Single entry, you can kind of build a cash lineup and then differentiate depending on how big the tournament is. So if you're playing in a tournament that only has 60 or 80 people, a small field GPP, very small field, you can just get different in 1 or 2 spots. If you're playing with a tournament that has 500 to 1,000 people, get different in 2 or 3 spots. If you're starting to play in a tournament single entry that's like 40,000 people, now you have to start to get different in 3 to 5 spots. And by different, I mean, getting to guys who are 15% and less owned, ideally like 12 to 8% owned, even lower. So that's the main difference. Single entry in 150s, yes, there's going to be a different lineup construction there, but it's more so going to depend on how many people are in the contest, in my opinion. If you're playing in a single entry with 500 people and a 150 max with 50,000 people, yeah, that 150 max, you're going to get a lot more exposure. You can get different. You can set your total lineup ownership if you're using an optimizer, like the big energy optimizer down below. To certain amounts. And then the single entry, if it's a lower field stuff, you don't have to worry about getting different as much depending on how small the field is. 500 person field, get different in 2 spots, right? Yo, fellas, give our boy Sal a like and a sub. Let's get these Dollarooskies. My man Skylar in the chat. My man Skylar, was it you? Was it you in the Discord that got that hit on the 3x your buy-in on Prize Picks? First time playing, was that you? It was the greasy white guy from Awesome that gave the thumbs down. I don't know who that is. What are you talking about over there? Don't talk down on the Osmo guys. I like those guys. Let's go. Any sound, disregard my message. I got the optimizer to work. We like that. Okay, my man Sal hasn't even started yet, and someone gives a thumbs down. Oh, no. We got thumbs down? Hey, we don't worry about it. Honestly, the YouTube thumbs up and thumbs down, they do help. I think it's a lot more marginally than it used to be, but the thumbs down count is the same as the thumbs up. So we'll take them all. We just got Tristan Thompson ruled out today. So Daniel Tice, who already looked like a decent play, looks even better. Robert Williams, who I wasn't all that much interested in, looks a little bit better. Tristan Thompson ruled out today. Tristan Thompson ruled out. Does that change anything? Yeah, I mean, Daniel Tice was already looking decent. Now he looks even better. Prize Picks better than Monkey Knife Fight all day, somebody says. Look, I like Monkey Knife Fight. We had a nice partnership with them. We haven't officially ended it. I got kicked out of their Slack chat, so I think that might have officially ended it. I assume they view Prize Picks as a partner. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple things here. The reporting side of it on Prize Picks seems to be cleaner. The deal that we got to work out has more long-term upside in it for the business, being attached to their company long-term, not just as a affiliate that brings people to the community over to their great product, but it's also like the actual ability for me to play on there, right? I like these these fantasy point scoring upsides, right? There's a lot more options. There's a lot more options in the fantasy points. I like the way that they lay it out. All those types of things. So from the business perspective, it made sense. For my enjoyment on the platform, I enjoyed both platforms, but I enjoyed this one a little bit more. And talking through some of the differences that I've had in the past 3 years ago when I first talked to Prize Picks and had not the greatest of first conversations with whoever I was on the phone with at that point. Seems like they've got whole new management over there, and it's working pretty nicely now. Fellas, don't sleep on Prize Picks. I cashed my first time ever playing. Sal giving us all the tools to get those Dollarooskies. Yeah, man, if you have access, look, there's 500 people that have access to the tools, 511 on Patreon. And then there's people that can join into this chat and ask any questions. You're going to be having a nice little edge on there for sure. What's going on, Joel? How you doing? My boy Sal, how you feel about Zion tonight and trying to get away from the Simmons chalk tonight? Any avenues? Also, Tony Bradley thoughts. I like Tony Bradley. Not so much on Zion. I'll pull up Philly's minutes. Simmons looks fine. I'm not so much on Zion, to be honest with you. I really don't think it's terrible to be on Zion, though. Tony Bradley is a yes for me, so he's one of my yeses. I currently only have, I think, 14 yeses today. We will be updating the projections for that Tristan Thompson news momentarily. It will make Daniel Tice, who was already an interest of mine, a little bit more interesting now. So, yes. My man Will says, you think I'm funny? How? Like a clown? Line up some Dollarooskies. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess. Skylar Wright, once again, speaking the facts. Hey, what's going on, Seth? How you doing? Thompson out. Interest in Korkmaz for a fill around his price. No, I'm not. So Philadelphia today, I have Korkmaz only projected for 14 minutes. I can't get there at those minutes. Korkmaz sees the bumps when guys like Ben Simmons are out, right? If Shake Milton's out, right? But those guys aren't out today. It's Embiid, who the clear bumps there are to Dwight Howard, Tobias Harris a little bit more time at the 4 with the higher rebounding rate, to a bump there from his rebounding rate, and then obviously Tony Bradley. Tony Bradley, I have 22 minutes today, and Dwight Howard, I have 24. Playing my first Prize Picks today, I got Butler and Randle at over 42 points. I can let you know how that's looking right now. We obviously like Randle from earlier today. I currently have Randle projecting out for 47.8, so we like that. I have Butler for 46.75, so over 42 for both of those guys looks nice. But we'll get into the overall prize picks in a little while as well. Walked away from my computer, rocking with Levine or Simmons tonight. If I had to pick one of those guys right now, it's going to be, let's actually look at ownership. So it'll be Ben Simmons for me. Ben Simmons' ownership is really not coming in all that much right now. Levine looks pretty similar, though. Like those guys look pretty similar with similar ownership. I'll take Levine. What do you think about Darius Garland tonight? I can't get there. These Cleveland guys are kind of expensive. Like Sexton on Superdraft looks fantastic. He continues to have a high multiplier at 1.55x as if he's not a starting point guard playing 37 minutes a game at this point over a fantasy point per minute producer. So I do like Sexton. I do like Larry Nance today. I have him as yes. That could be aggressive, but I'm assuming he starts. If he's definitely starting, we'll keep him as the yes. If for whatever reason Wilder starts, we'll change that. But, yeah, I can't get to Garland. 33 minutes. It's just a price point at this point, right? If you think he averages a fantasy point per minute, you can get to him. But this matchup against Miami is not the greatest now that Miami's fully healthy. If Capella's out, Collins or Ennis in Superdraft, I'll take Collins. Actually, Collins might actually have this. He have a 1.15x multiplier now. So Collins has a where's he at? 1.35x. So I will take Collins. Should I just chase THT as a cheap shooting guard, hoping he gets blowout run? Yeah, no, I'm not going to go there. So that game last night against Golden State blew out, and you might have saw that Horton Tucker played in that game or got 40 fantasy points in that game. But a lot of that is going to be a little bit of fake minutes. He played the final 12 minutes of the game because of the blowout run. He played 28 minutes total in that game. Now, he had decent first half run, right? He played about 12 minutes in the first half, but he was only going to play in that game like 24 minutes. He obviously got the whole fourth quarter. LeBron James only stepped on the court in the fourth quarter for, I believe, 6 of those minutes. So Horton Tucker played fine. He also shot 70% in that game, right? 7 of 10 overall. He had the 10 assists, which is based on his assist percentage is not sustainable. Got the double-double. So he picks up like an extra 5 minutes because of the blowout without any studs on the court. So that's clearly going to be helping him. In that fourth quarter alone, he ended up having 4 of his 7 makes. So it's not something that I would chase personally. Tice had a real bad game last time out. We'll bounce back. Yeah, so we can look into upgrading some of this or updating some of this stuff on those Brooklyn bigs or on those Boston bigs because now we're going to have to take out Tristan Thompson, who I had 22 minutes. So I had Thompson at 22 minutes. I ended up having in this right now Robert Williams at 18 and Tice at 26. So obviously some upside now coming into the minutes perspective for some of these guys. So let's do it. Jaylen Brown strong at 7,900. Not strong, but definitely in a player pool. Which combo for cash? Quickly and Cantor or Edwards and Moses Brown? Ooh, that's tough. In cash, I'll take Quickly and Cantor, though. I think they're going to be more secure today for you. Out of all the little DFS channels, Sal's is the only one I tap into daily. Even got me over on Superdraft. Let's go, my man, Phony Toast. Phony Toast, you call me little? You call me little? I got a motherfucking turtleneck on today, man. I'm feeling puffy today. Your boy was just doing 240 push-ups. We rep that shit out in like a half hour. You calling me little? All right, we good. We chilling. I was just trying to act. I'm trying to act for some roles once I go to Austin. That's straight bullshit. But how was that? I'm trying to do some improv, which will be like kind of like that, right? Just go into a mode. You call me little? Bradley or Brown today? Moses Brown or Bradley? I'll go with Moses Brown. If I had to pick one. Mason Jones going to smash his seat on the bench. Play Roby. Uh-oh. Sal always delivers, my man. What's going on, boss man? I stay lurking, but you deliver solid content. One of the best subs so far. I appreciate that, my man. You too kind. Kids are back at school with the mask and social distancing. Sucks. I look forward to this now even more. Let's go, Mr. England. Let's go. You said the kids are back at school, my man? You're very hands-on dad. I like that. my man. I like that. Well, not that your kids are back at school and that sucks, but just that makes you sad. That means you enjoy their time. So let's move up. Let's move up Robert Williams now to 22 minutes, right? Let's move Robert Williams to 22 minutes. So we'll give him a 4-minute bump. Daniel Tice is going to be the guy who gets a bigger bump for me to 30 minutes. And I think we might have to put Taco Fall into the rotation. Or do I want to just give more run to some of these other guys down low, like a Semi Ojeleye? So Semi Ojeleye I don't currently have in the rotation. We can put Semi Ojeleye. How the fuck do we spell Ojeleye? Semi Ojeleye. Is this right? Hey, that was right. Cool. We'll give him 12 minutes plus that. All right, cool. So now we're all secure on that. Let's actually bump that over to see what happens to these Boston bigs, and we can update this so everybody here can get the updated news on what's happening with these Boston guys. We'll keep answering the questions. Kendrick Williams or Pokovetsky? I'll take Pokovetsky. Sal, thoughts on Ty Jerome? Any word on if Maldon is playing? Maldon is expected to play today. I hit 10x on prize picks on Sunday night right after Capella got ruled out. I always try to wait for unexpected news to drop because you can take advantage of some inefficient props. Yeah, Quinn, you're exactly right. We were actually on the live stream when that stuff came out for Capella, and we got The over on we got the over on John Collins, 31 fantasy points. I'm sure you did too. And I had him projected at that point for like 35.4, I think was like the exact number I had on him. So obviously a massive, massive bump that we ended up getting from being ready on that news. So actually, I mean, we have the news that Daniel Tice is out. Why don't we look at some prize pick stuff? Anything on the Boston guys today? I don't know if they'll have like Daniel Tice, or we got the news that Tristan Thompson is out. So it doesn't seem like they have any Daniel Tice on here for us to take advantage of. They don't. So we can go back to prize picks in a second. They have the other Boston guys, but not much is going to be changing there for them. This is mainly going to be the centers and power forwards that kind of see the difference right now in their projections. So I'm going to be updating the projections. I'll kind of voice this as I go through for what these guys are looking like. Really no change for the guards. Kemba gets a slight change overall. Not really sure where that comes from. Probably just in general shot attempts. So Daniel Tice is now moving up to a more than playable option. I have him projected for 24 points. He is now a yes for me. He's not available on SuperDraft. Robert Williams right now for me is also moving up. Robert Williams I have for 27.4 points. Does not put him in play still. Pretty expensive at 4,600. And then obviously you get the Tristan Thompson out. And we'll be putting in Mr. Semi Ojeleye. So there you go. There's the update. The update is now that it's still a little bit too expensive for me on the Robert Williams front, but I'll be taking Daniel Tice now. He becomes my 15th yes on the slate today, so that is good to see. So Semi Ojeleye projecting out for me for not much, literally like 7.8 points. Not a good player. So we'll update that now on Patreon. We'll update that now onto the optimizer. So all that is updated for Tristan Thompson out. The difference is pretty not massive, but it's enough to make Daniel Tice now a yes on a slate that actually has a decent amount of value. So there's your updates for that. There are your updates for that as we now update this. There we go. Beautiful. Saw somebody just signed up for Patreon. A couple people just did in this chat. Appreciate you people. Appreciate you people a ton. Funny like a clown equals Goodfellas. Oh, I didn't know that. There we go. I'll be honest with you. I watched Goodfellas when I was like 12 and 13 years old with my dad. I watched all the Godfather movies around then too. So, I mean, it's been a decade. And I was my brain was big small then. Big small. How about that? How about that for some irony? Put that on a t-shirt. Big small. My muscles be big small. My brain be big small. So Thompson out. Patreon is now updated for the optimizer updated. We'll kind of run the optimizer in let's just do that now. Why not? Patreon is now updated for the Tristan Thompson news, and there it goes. Bang. How do you like that? Do you still like Brown center tonight? Also, LeBron and Simmons as your two favorite pay-ups. Currently, my favorite pay, if you talk like 10K and above, it'll be LeBron for me. I still like Moses Brown. Yes, he's my number one rated play today at 28.9 fantasy points. Let's go over to just those projections that I currently have on OKC. I have Moses Brown for 26 minutes today at a 1.1 fantasy point per minute projection. So he's my number one play. My favorite pay-up options are LeBron James, number one. And then Simmons, if you're talking 9K and above, yeah, Simmons and LeBron. But I personally prefer Tobias Harris over Simmons right now for a little bit cheaper. But yeah, those would be my favorite pay-ups. Simmons, Tobias Harris, and his Cantor, not really a pay-up option. LeBron, I do have interest in a decent projection on SGA today as well, 8,800. Anthony Edwards or Brandon Ingram today. I'll take Edwards. Is Bam playing today? Yes. Bam is expected to play. He's off the injury report, which now makes it pretty tough to get to Jimmy Butler, who's at, I mean, Jimmy Butler, if you want to just look at how he kind of drops down, if you will. Let's open up Add More Funds. Some people have asked me on the YouTube comments, what is this site that I'm using? It's Add More Funds. It's a pretty cool site. It's free to use. There's a link down below in the description. Free to use. You can just use on and off tools. You can use that link to set up an account. But let's show you what happens with Miami. Jimmy Butler without Bam Adebayo on the court produces like 1.55 fantasy points per minute. That's literally like the same that LeBron's doing, if not better, than when Anthony Davis is on the court. So that's how good Jimmy Butler's been. He deserves to be like around a $10,000 player. But when Bam Adebayo is on the court, you can see that Jimmy Butler becomes, and let's put Bam on the court today, it's going to drop. And a lot of Jimmy Butler's minutes, if he plays 35 and Bam plays 34, a lot of those minutes are them together. When Bam Adebayo is on the court, look at what Jimmy Butler drops down to. 1.29 fantasy points per minute. So a massive difference. This makes Jimmy Butler like appropriate price, probably in the 8K range, like 8K flat, 8,500. So he's massively overpriced today. You probably already know that. The ownership's going to be showing you that as well, but that's just to show you what happens when Bam is back. Semi for sure, yeah. Any concern about Tice getting 6 minutes like last game? Not with Tristan Thompson now out, no. And also, did Tice get hurt in that last game, or was that just they wanted to go with more? Because they're giving more minutes to Robert Williams. Best 6K play, not named John Collins today. Good sir. I added the good sir on that because I am on good sir. I would say Thad Young at $6,100 is your best 6K play, not named. I think Thad Young. So right now I'm projecting in Clint Capella, but Thad Young would be your best 6K play. Any news on Capella yet? No official news yet on Capella. We got David Evans quoting right now. Just joined in. Best cash plays today. So top cash plays today for me are going to be Emmanuel Quickly, LeBron James, and that's kind of your starting point. After that, a center option between Moses Brown today, assuming he starts again, and Enes Kanter, if not both of them. Those are some cash considerations for you. One of the Sixers guys between Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons I'd like to have in cash as well. And then some other cash considerations. Daniel Tice now that Tristan Thompson is out. Tony Bradley, if he starts at 3,700, either way in play. And Thad Young at 6,100. Also from OKC, Pokovetsky, as he's been playing 30-plus minutes in 3 straight games. I have him at 30 minutes yet again today. Let's load up the big energy motherfucking optimizer. So let's load up this optimizer before we haven't put any player groups in yet today, but let's load it up. We'll put 19% randomness. Let's use 3 uniques today. Max from the same team. Let's just go with 3. And let's build out 100 lineups. So we shall generate that now. So let's let those build. So if you want to get access to the big energy optimizer, lots of cool things you can do with the groups and things like that. You can check it out on Patreon. I'll post a link to today's projections and tools and all that and the optimizer right now. Tobias Harris, Jaylen Brown, Pokusevski, or LeBron, Kendrick Williams, and Kelly Olynyk. I like the first one. Kelly Olynyk, no interest in now that Bam Adebayo is back. He's way too expensive. So let's look at some of the top projected lineups today. So this is a top projected lineup today that we have with some randomness, so it's not going to be cash. We have randomness in there, so it's going to take into account random outcomes, random ranges of outcomes. I like this lineup. This is a good fucking lineup. If you play this tonight, you might actually hit some Dollaruskis. So you got SGA, who will be low owned today, 8,800. I have him as a nice play. Eric Bledsoe, who you know that I personally like. The minutes have not been as massive as they were about a week or two ago, but I personally don't love him, but still enjoy Eric Bledsoe. LeBron James, pretty clear play, makes some sense. Tobias Harris, no Ben Simmons or no Joel Embiid. Not going to be massively owned. These Philly guys are not going to be massively owned. I mean, Harris is going to be pushing like 10% right now, so we like that. Tony Bradley, another Philly guy who probably picks up more ownership just because he's dirt cheap. Tomas Satoransky, we're expecting to start again. Thad Young, we're expecting to start again. We like this. And then Moses Brown. I mean, this is a pretty fucking good lineup, if I do say so myself. Are we still live right now, by the way? Let me know if we're still live. Everything's still good. Because the YouTube version of my end is not letting me see the preview on YouTube. But I can see my OBS stuff. Cat or Jason Tatum today? I'll go Cat. Still love Oladipo, Sal. We still have like for Oladipo, not love. Is Oladipo one of my top 15 plays today? Let's see. The problem with Oladipo is motherfucking Kevin Porter Jr. Oladipo today for me. Victor Oladipo is in play. He's not a yes, but he's in play for me, yes. Spoelstra said he's leaning towards Bam sitting. That's why I've been banking on. Makes 0 sense. They'd rush him back against the Cavs. All right, yeah, I guess we'll see. When did Spoelstra say that, though? Did he say that like today? Because then that would be actually important news. But the last update I saw on their last injury report was that he's off the injury report. But obviously that news is helpful. Like I'm a clown, like I amuse you. Like I'm here to fucking amuse you. Please tell me. What the fuck is so funny about me? All-time classic scene. Joe Pesci. Hey, I like that. I'm going to have to watch that now. Watch them again, Sal. Goodfellas, Casino, Bronx Tale, some of my favorite movies. I really have to watch them again. I just watched, I've only ever seen like the second half of Training Day. I just watched Training Day because it was on Netflix, and my God. I mean, there's some fucking classics out there. It made me want to watch more. Hey, Sal, Lillard or Trey Young today? I'll go Trey Young. What's a sneaky play today, Sal? Rob, what's going on, my man? So a sneaky play today? Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of guys that I like that are just low owned, right? Like you're getting Tobias Harris, low owned today. You're getting relatively low owned, average ownership at the most for Ben Simmons and Victor Oladipo, right? So Tobias Harris is somehow grading out as a sneaky play. You'll probably get single-digit ownership on Colin Sexton, who continues to look, I would say, pretty good to me. Yes, Anthony Edwards' price continues to go up, but you're going to get single-digit ownership on Anthony Edwards yet again today. So these are some really decent plays that I like to look at. I expect Emmanuel Quickly's ownership to skyrocket, especially once we get Alfred Payton officially ruled out. Those are some options. Yeah. I don't know how sneaky they'll be. Enes Kanter, expect him now with CJ McCollum back and some other cheap value centers, right? When you have Moses Brown and Tony Bradley on a slate, the cheap value centers are going to be getting the priority. You have Thad Young, who fills the center spot. Enes Kanter continues to be somebody that I like and somebody that I expect. He's one of my top 15 plays in yeses today. I expect him to be like 8% owned today. So some options for you. Alec Burks won't get ownership because he had like one average to bad game when all those other guards were out yesterday. If they're out yet again today, Rose is already out. Alfred Payton is doubtful. Alec Burks should get some decent run. Any nice shooting guards for less than $6,000 today? So these are probably going to come from the guys who are shooting guard and point guard eligible. So $5,800 quickly, probably your best option there. Outside of that, a lot of guys are out in that range between like Derrick Rose, Eric Gordon, Tyler Hero is probably going to be playing today. But Eric Bledsoe at $5,200 will be low owned. I continue to like Eric Bledsoe. That's kind of it, though. Like, I'm not going to go down to Reggie Block personally. You can always go to KCP if you're looking for a 3K punt. I think there's better options specifically at the center position on the slate today. But that's kind of it. Like, below 6K, it's Emmanuel Quickly, who's shooting guard eligible. It's Eric Bledsoe, who I continue to have some interest in as well. And then, like, if you want to take a flyer on a Seth Curry or Kevin Huerter, but I like those other guys more. Well, who's your favorite value play today, Sal? It's going to be Moses Brown. Just pure point per dollar value as long as Moses Brown starts again. He fouled out in 3 quarters, basically, in that last game. But he played 24 minutes. He played pretty well. Assuming he doesn't just foul out in like 24 minutes this time, he should look pretty damn good. Assuming he starts again. Yes, you're still live. Perfect. Live, loyal Patreon. Great stuff, says Bill K. My man Bill K. We got a loyal Patreon Bill K in the chat. Shout out to all the OGs out there. We got to do like a Patreon retreat sometime. Or just like a big like weekend fantasy football draft or something with all the patrons. Or maybe not all of them because we'll have a fucking block party. And I can't contain those 500, 600 wild motherfuckers during the NFL season. We'll have like 700, 800 of you. A round of applause to Bill K. Hero or Sterling Brown? Factoring in the price, Sterling Brown. Is Robert Williams a lock for tonight? His usage has increased in the past 2 games. He's not a lock for me. If Robert Williams starts, you can go to him. But he's not currently a lock for me. I'm not currently projecting him to start. I'm giving him 22 minutes with Tristan Thompson out. I like Daniel Tice more still. I gave Daniel Tice 30 minutes. If Robert Williams starts, well, then it's another story. Jackson Hayes did decent pivot off of Moses. Is there a reason to be thinking that Jackson Hayes does anything today? Is there a reason to be thinking that Jackson Hayes takes on... I mean, Jackson Hayes has played 20 and 24 minutes in the last 2 games because of blowouts. I'm not too sure I'm going to project a blowout against Portland today. Otherwise, it's the Steven Adams show, right? Like Steven Adams, 21 and 20 minutes in the last 2 games. He's still starting. It's just blowouts. Zion bounce back tonight? Yeah, I mean, Zion continues to be somebody that I never get to. And we can look at some other lineups here on the screen. So this is the big energy optimizer yet again. We'll look at some other lineups. Zion's a guy that I just never get to because he's been overpriced all year long. He had like a 1 to 1.5 week stretch where he was balling the fuck out and getting like 45 to 48 points every single game. He's just continuously overpriced. As long as Brandon Ingram is not in a shooting slump, which he hasn't been basically this past week. And oh, look, Zion during that time, 31, 32.5 in a blowout and 36 fantasy points. So, I mean, I don't know how Zion's going to bounce back. He shot 81% in that last game on 16 shot attempts. Sure, he didn't get the rebounds for you. He had 2 rebounds, and normally in that time, he'll get you like, 8, right? So, Zion for me is still overpriced. He's still overpriced. Zion to me is a $8,400 player. So when he hit the 9K range, I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get there. Sal, what's the ownership on Zion today? Zion's going to be coming in with ownership, probably 15%. Let's look at what I'm currently getting exposure on. So this is just 100. So this is just 100 lineups. So we didn't run the full 150. I wanted to crunch a little bit quicker. So let's see. So these are my exposures. So you can see where we're getting right now. We're going to have to add more randomness. We're getting 97% Moses Brown right now. So assuming he starts, I'm going to like him a lot. I won't have 97%, but we're liking him a lot. Tomas Satoransky, 71%. LeBron. So this is my exposure before putting in any rules, right? So we're getting a lot more Moses Brown than a guy like Tony Bradley today. We're getting 34% Tony Bradley. Let's increase the randomness and see what happens here. But these are the guys that I like today. So this makes sense, and I'm getting a lot of them. These are the guys that I like today. So that's some of the stuff that the optimizer is spitting me out right now, the Patreon optimizer. Why no love for Dame time? CJ McCollum's back. Dame Lillard is going to drop, right? He's going to drop. So should we expect Bam to be on a minutes restriction or close to normal workload? Good question. I currently projected Bam to be on a minutes limit, I believe, today. But we'll see. Hopefully we get that news. I projected Bam and Abayu to be at 32 minutes. So I guess not much of a minutes limit. 34 would be like a minutes limit. Hopefully we get news. Dwight Howard today, not interested. I prefer Tony Bradley. Howard's kind of like he's like barely, like I'm close to getting to Howard, but I'm just not there right now. Can you show your projections for Chicago? Yeah, so these are just projected minutes. There's no projected points on the screen. You can check those out on Patreon down below, throwing the link into the chat right now. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at right now for Chicago. 35 minutes Levine, 26 Kobe White off the bench. We're giving right now Tomas Satoransky 28 as a starter. Thad Young 28 as a starter. Those are my 2 most favorite plays from that team. Robert Williams with no Thompson. 5,600 is tough for me to swallow, especially with all the other guys in the slate. But I'm not total. I don't have him in a player pool right now, but I'm not like, I don't think he's a terrible play. Do you like Kendrick Williams? Is it fine to downgrade from Pokusevski the GOAT's out. I would not play Kendrick Williams over Polkanoski. I really don't have much interest in Kendrick Williams tonight. I mean, Kendrick Williams is not playing more minutes lately because of Polkanoski, and I know I'm butchering his name. I apologize. Pokazeski. Yeah, I know he's playing these minutes, 30 plus in 3 straight games. I haven't projected for 30 plus again. It's taking center run, obviously. Moses Brown taking center run away from Isaiah Roby, which pushes Isaiah Roby to the 4, which pushes Polkanoski to the 3 more, which pushes Kendrick Williams to the bench more, right? That's what happens. Any love for Denzel Valentine? 18 minutes. I have him in a player pool as a cheaper option, but these centers just look a little bit better. So yeah, Denzel Valentine, good fantasy point per minute producer. You saw that last time out. We liked him on that shorter slate. Still looks okay. But 18 minutes is tough to really want to get all in on when you have guys starting center. Brad Stevens said he was going to sit out Tice a lot more for Tristan Thompson and Robert Williams, so I guess Tice is fine without them. There you go. What about Jerome? Ty Jerome, not interested. 20 minutes, no real interest there. Thoughts on Damian Lillard tonight? No. Yeah, so I guess I answered this earlier. With CJ McCollum back, I'm projecting McCollum to play 25 minutes today, which is enough to take away at least 15 of those minutes with Dame on the court, enough to take away stuff there to not make him have the best upside from like a 1.5 or 1.45 fantasy point per minute producer. There was a massive explosion in Ontario, California. The explosion was felt as far as a mile away. The cause of the explosion is unknown at this time. That's very fucking scary. Oladipo or SGA today? I'll go Oladipo. Yo, Sal, been a minute. Had a gambling problem. LOL. Is there any free bet? Saw Vetri LLC and had that itch. Hey, what's going on, Lugnut? Free bet today? So we're about to, actually, this is a good time. Hopefully you have all your stuff sorted out. But this is a good time to talk about prize picks, I guess. So I don't have any bets in from an NBA like lines perspective, like spreads or money lines. But any questions you have on DFS, we can talk about. But let's pimp the sponsor of the show right now, if you will. All 240 people in here. Check out Prize Picks. A lot of people have been signing up in the Discord. A lot of people were talking about it earlier. It's a ton of fun. You can just take the over/under, so it's like a player prop, over/under on fantasy points. You could also take it on single stats, right? We can look at the single stats for guys, whether it is just straight up real life points, whether it is certain rebounds, right? Things like that, assists. But I like the fantasy scoring, right? Because I think I have a better edge here just based on my projections. So you can find some guys that I think are going to be appealing today. Let's build the prize picks thing right now. We put one in earlier this morning. I still like that one. We actually got Randle at 42 fantasy points, and now he's at 44. I still like the over on that. But let's build the quick prize picks out right now. So Bam Adebayo is at 40 points. Ooh, that's an interesting one to kind of want to take the under on. So I'm going to lean to take the under on Bam Adebayo right now. Sexton's still at 35. I still like the over on that as he's projecting out for more than that for me. But let's look through these. Thoughts on Rudy Gobert today? I think he's okay. He's not like a standout guy. I got him for like 40 fantasy points. It looks okay. Any advice for NBA tiers? Yeah, it's projection based, right? It's just straight up projection based. If you think there's an idea to get, if there's going to be like a clearly high owned guy there and you have guys at similar ownership, take the guy who's going to probably be lower owned. Jackson Hayes, good cheap option? No, he's gotten minutes in the last couple of games because of blowouts. So we're looking at prize picks. If you want to use the code SAL, S-A-L, they'll give you a free money bonus all the way up to, which is pretty damn impressive, $100. You rarely see that these days, that you get a free money match up to $100. So take advantage of that. You put 50 in, they'll give you 50 back, all the way up to $100. You'll get a 100% match. But let's look at what I currently have for Philadelphia today. So I have Tobias Harris for 44 points, and he's currently projecting out on prize picks for 38 points. You can see right here. So I'm going to take the over on Tobias Harris. We're going to take the under on Bam Adebayo in his return today. Emmanuel Quickley's at 27 points. That's a smash the over. Emmanuel Quickley is a smash the over. Derrick Rose is out and Alfred Payton is doubtful. So assuming that Alfred Payton misses, Emmanuel Quickley again, who shot poorly, just 32% yesterday, and still got 28 points yesterday, 28.5 points yesterday, shooting that poorly, only picking up like 2 assists and 2 rebounds. Emmanuel Quickley is a smash the over play today. So I'm not going to put all these together, but I will just kind of touch on some of them as we go. But so far, Quickley and Tobias Harris overs I like a lot more. I like them more than the Bam under, just because Bam in even 28 minutes can get you there. Another thing I want to watch is this one right here, right? This one is probably one that we'll wait on. John Collins, 32 fantasy points. If Clint Capella is ruled out, we smash the over because John Collins will project out for me for like 38.5 fantasy points. Julius Randle, question mark? Yeah, Julius Randle on prize picks. We bet him in the morning video this morning. We took the over on Julius Randle at 44. I'm still fine on that. I got him for like 47.8 fantasy points. I just don't want to get too much Julius Randle exposure. So I'm actually going to wait to place this prize picks because I want to see what happens with Clint Capella, right? I want to see what happens with Clint Capella because if John Collins is out, we take the over. If Clint Capella's in, we just don't touch either of them at that point. Some of these guys are just no bets right now for me. And it's Cantor. Would CJ McCollum back? What do I have Cantor at today? I think I have Cantor at like 30-something points. I'd say LeBron is a safe play tonight, right? Yeah, LeBron's my favorite pay-up option today. He's my favorite payout option. I have Cantor for 37.28 points, so Cantor looks appealing as well. So we're going to have to find all these. We're going to have to find all these and see which ones we like the most out here. But I'm not going to place anything until we get this John Collins news. So ones that I'm looking at right now, the under on Bam Adebayo, the over on Tobias Harris, the over on Emmanuel. I mean, the quickly one's just 27 points. He's going to project out for 35 points for me right now, 34. Cantor, the over, and then waiting on John Collins. So I do like that. I do like that right now. So be sure to check it out if you want to tail some of those. If you don't want to wait on John Collins, you want to just add Randle or somebody else and go for it, you can go for it. But I'm going to be waiting on John Collins right now because I think that can give us a lot of upside once we get some injury news. So check it out, linked down below. It's right in the chat. You can just go over using that link and use the code SAL. When you sign up, you get that free money bonus to keep these motherfucking 5 lights that are blinding me right now on. We'll be live tonight as well at 6 p.m. East Coast time. That 6 p.m. East Coast time live stream, or 7 p.m. East Coast time, I apologize, will be for Jock Market. So we'll be looking at the Jock Market tonight. KJ Martin in a player pool? Yes, he is. Any interest in Trey Young? Not much. Polkaneski or Tice? A good question. Tice, good question. So I'll look between the two of these guys where they rank out for me. That is a good question. So right now for me, it is going to be, let's see. I have Tice for 24 points at 4,200. I have Polkanovsky for 23.25. So I'll take Tice assuming he starts. Colin Sexton is the best Jock Market player. He's the next Kyrie. That app seems so easy because if you're watching this, you know who's good and have the edge over a lot of people. There you go. There you go, my man. I agree. Colin Sexton looks good on a lot of platforms tonight. Jock Market, he looks, I prefer the over on Colin Sexton on Prize Picks. I have him on Super Draft tonight. He's my top guard play. So yeah. Hey Sal, who do you like as safe spend ups tonight? I think your safest spend up is LeBron, and I think that's the only safe spend up. I don't think Trey's a safe spend up. I don't think Dame's a safe spend up. Obviously Embiid is out. So I think your safest spend up is LeBron, and he's like probably the only one. Sal's projection are good for tiers on Patreon. Somebody says hashtag big energy, says Jonathan Wilson. Let's go. The big energy brand stays alive. Will Oladipo be high owned in cash games, do you think? I don't think so. How much do you like Larry Nance is sketching me out, LOL. I'm a one lineup guy, and he's a boomer bust if I've ever seen one. Yeah, he is. Assuming he starts today, he was going to play 28.5 minutes in that last game. So assuming he starts today, I enjoy Larry Nance with no Taurean Prince and no Kevin Love today. I mean, his only backups will be like Chetty Osman, who's more so a traditional 3 and not a 4, and then like Dylan Wilder. But yeah, Larry Nance is a boomer bust player. He's not playing next to Andre Drummond like he was earlier this year before his injuries. So you have to keep that in mind. Jackson Hayes will give you about 24.5 points. I strongly disagree with that stance. I have Jackson Hayes for 16.5 points today. Was Jackson Hayes a prize pick option? Because I'll take the under in a strong way. I'm not saying that to like be a dick to whoever just said that. I'm actually just straight up curious. He is not on prize picks right now. No, I have Jackson Hayes for like 16.5 points. Let's look at another one of these top projected lineups. Let's see what this one gives us. So this one gives us, let's see. Scroll all the way up to the top. So this one's a pretty similar lineup, right? This one's just changing out. Who is it even changing out? Zach LaVine, I guess. It's giving us Zach LaVine and balancing out a little bit more. So we're getting a lot of LeBron, obviously. So Optimizer really likes LeBron. It really likes Moses Brown. It really likes Tomas Satoransky and Emmanuel Quickly. This one gives us Lauri Markkanen, which I'm not totally against. This one gives us Cantor, which I do like, and Zach LaVine. So Markkanen and LaVine together, I think that's fine. So some interesting lineups that we're getting. And I actually like these lineups. Like this first lineup that was given, I'm sure fucking people are going to play it now, but once I change rules, some things will change. But this looks like, this honestly looks like a cash lineup. Like Eric Bledsoe makes it not a cash lineup. Tobias Harris only being like 10% tonight makes it not a cash lineup, but the rest of these guys will pick up some massive ownership. These 4 will pick up ownership. LeBron, SGA won't. So this is kind of like a small field single entry lineup, maybe midfield. I like that. That's the highest projected lineup before I set any other rules tonight. Hey, Sal, I got a free $10 ticket, and I think I want to use it on a double up. What do you think will be some safe plays tonight? So there you go. Just some of the guys we just talked about. LeBron James will be safe if Moses Brown starts again. He has foul trouble, which makes him a little bit more sketchy. But I would say your safe options tonight, Tomas Satoransky if he starts because of that assist percentage and rebounding rate for a guard. LeBron James is the safest play, and Emmanuel Quickly. So LeBron and Emmanuel Quickly, my 2 safest plays, I would say, quote-unquote safe. You can never be too safe unless you wear 3 condoms. But then guys like Tobias Harris starts to come into the conversation, right? Some of these value options like Moses Brown if he starts. Those types of guys. Thad Young if he starts again. SGA on Super Draft today, somebody asks. Let me see. SGA is my number 9 overall play in Super Draft today. Out of the guard options, SGA would be my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My 6th strength guard. So definitely in play, yes. Any individual stats? Says Timeout Sports Podcast. Yeah. So what do you mean on individual stats? What is your question there? Bron and Ball / Garland or SGA and Zion. I'll take Bron and Ball. Is the projected ownership on the spreadsheet or on the optimizer? So right now, having yet another call tomorrow at noon with somebody to start to talk about NBA ownership projections, because I don't currently offer any NBA ownership projections. Projections, rankings, player pools, optimizer, those types of things. But yeah, obviously, I've had it on my board circled for like the past couple of weeks and months. It is the most annoying process. I have ownership projections for every other sport that I cover on Patreon. But sadly, NBA is a whole nother monster since it's daily and there's so much data, so many teams playing on a daily basis. Similar things can be said for the MLB. It is a tough task. Like, I could have added ownership projections by now, but the data that I was seeing on some of these sites was very, very sketchy. The only one that I saw reliable data was going to charge like $4,000 a month, and $4,000 a month for just NBA ownership projections did not seem like the best use of my resources, if you will. Somebody said, going to use 3 condoms. Got it. There you go. Individual stacks for prize picks. Somebody says, you are done now. What does you are done now mean? Is the projected owner, should I play Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons together? I think you play them together, yeah. Thoughts on Kevin Porter Jr.? Not as interested now at 7K. It feels like Ben and Toby underperform. Are they really the play? I like Toby and then Ben in that order. They're both in play for me, yeah. Any love for RJ Barrett? I mean, the last game blew completely out, so like you can't really judge them on their last game without Joel Embiid. I mean, they fucking won by 35 points. Any love for RJ Barrett? He's been killing it, taking a lot of shots lately. Did RJ Barrett even make a player pool for me? I don't think so. He had like one good game and then like a couple of average games that wouldn't have done anything for you in a GPP. He's in a player pool for me. Most I won in 5 years. Sal, thanks for the contest selection advice. I hit $500 yesterday in a single entry. Most I've won in 5 years. Let's fucking go. Picasso TV, round of applause. Thoughts on Kenyon Martin right now? In a player pool, not a strong option though because the price point is now up. We know Tristan Thompson. Is Robert Williams a good play against Rudy Gobert? I don't have Robert Williams in a player pool still. So Timeout Sports Podcast asked about individual stats. He says you are done now. I don't know what you are done now means, but individual stats for prize picks, yes, they have that. And I personally project individual stats as well. I just prefer that I think there's a better edge in what your fantasy points are doing. So they have individual single stats right here. Assists, rebounds, points. But I like fantasy points more because I think there's a better edge in the fantasy point projections. There's like the very similar edge in the points ones too. If you're looking at straight points, rebounds and assists can start to get a little bit murky because like your rebound and assist totals and like the differences will be like a difference of point like 2, 0.3, 0.4. Like it'll never be like, oh, my projection on a guy's assist is like 6.5 and theirs is like 3. Like that'll never be the case. Or theirs is like 4 or 5. It'll be like their assist projection is like 5 or 5.5 and mine is like 5.2 or 5.3. So these usually don't look as great. Check out this man's TikToks. He's hilarious. Sal_Vetri, somebody says. Yeah, check out my TikToks. Check out my Instagram page. We have the 1-minute sports comedy stuff that I'm going to probably release one either tomorrow or more likely Thursday. We do these 1-minute. I was hoping to do them like every other day, but they're just so much work to edit them together, these 1-minute little bits. But check them out. LOL, Sal, I asked, did you have any individual stats you like for prize picks? You're done now just meant you were talking about it anymore. Yeah, I'll be completely honest with you, my man. If I just look at the fantasy points because there's so many options. But I stay away from rebounds and assists because there's normally not that big of an edge. Like there used to be another site that had a pretty wide edge on them, but the overall like straight up scoring can be pretty similar to your fantasy points. It obviously correlates 100%. So sometimes I'll take some of these and parlay them together, flex play them together from just like a straight up scoring standpoint because there'll be a pretty nice edge there, and that usually directly correlates with like the guys that I like from this side of it, right? So if I really like Emmanuel Quickley's over, assuming that they have an Emmanuel Quickley points prop today, like Emmanuel Quickley over 16.5 points, assuming he starts again, even if he doesn't, just assuming Alfred Payton is out, I'll like the over on that. That kind of combines together with what the fantasy points is looking at, right? If that makes sense for you, good sir. Why does SuperDraft not have the Celtics game? They start their slate a half hour after DraftKings and FanDuel, which makes a lot of sense for them from a business standpoint, right? Because it allows you, who plays on DraftKings and FanDuel, and a lot of other people, especially people who are entering 150 lineups, to go take that time to go over there as well. Moses Brown gets in foul trouble. We're all fucked. True. Facts. Patrick Williams over 22 fantasy points. Not for me. Actually, hold on. I say that so quickly because I don't like Patrick Williams today, but let's look at what my actual fantasy point projection is. I have him at 20.49, so I stand by what I said. I stand by what I said, my man. Not for me. Not for me. Andy Dalton to the Bears, somebody said. Oh, facts? Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting to get the news that Will Fuller signs with the Packers so I can, like, high-five myself, I guess. I don't know who the fuck I'm going to high-five these days. The Bears just got fucking Andy Dalton. I want to die, somebody says. Did anybody watch my free agency stream this morning? It's up on the podcast version. It's obviously you can watch the replay on YouTube. I just wanted to talk NFL. We've been talking a lot of NBA. We've been talking a lot of golf lately, which I enjoy talking about this stuff. But I was like, you know what? It's been a couple of months. Let's talk some NFL. So we talked some motherfucking NFL. I'm sure nobody will watch that, but I had fun doing it. I saw that there was a couple hundred people listening on the podcast a couple hours after it was out, so that made me feel decent. Now, let's see how many people have tuned into this NFL one today. 200 people. Literally nobody, but that's fun. I enjoy talking about it. I miss talking about the NFL, especially this time of the year. It's so exciting with rookies coming out and all those types of things. Does the blowout concern you any for LeBron? I usually try not to factor it in because I can't project it, my man. If I try to start to projecting in blowouts everywhere, I'll just be making the worst lineups every single day. You know what I mean? And LeBron scored like 60 points in a blowout pretty recently. Yesterday, he scored like 53 in a blowout. 376ers too many today? I don't think so. Randle and Tony Bradley or Sexton and Thad Young? Give me Randle and Tony Bradley. Povetsky get 30 minutes tonight. What's up, Dan Foster? I currently have him at 30 minutes exactly. You can see that right here. I'll highlight him right there. 30 minutes exactly. Any interest in Jimmy Butler? No, not with Bam Adebayo back. He's massively overpriced. Covington hurt by CJ back? Yes. Bears gotten at least 6x4 games in a row now. Yeah, I mean, but you have to keep in mind that his price point has come up because of that. He's not going to be getting 6x if he produces the same 30 points that he did a couple of games back because now Barrett's price point is up, right? So, like RJ Barrett today at 32 minutes, and my projection on RJ Barrett of what, 30 fantasy points, I think, today, he's not going to get 6x now. When he scores 30, he'll get 5x. At 6,200, he'll get 4.8x, and it won't do anything. I have him at 30.1 points today. So he's in a player pool for me, but the 6x doesn't matter when your price point's coming up, right? Because 30 points today does nothing for me. 32 points does nothing for me. 34, 35 might start to at least put me in contention to win a GPP, but it's not the reason I'm in contention, right? So if you think Barrett goes for 38 or 40 again, then sure. But a guy who's 6,200, more times than not on average, they're going to have to start to score 36 to 38 to 40 points, and he's not projecting anywhere near that for me. Houston, do you like Porter Jr. today still? Is he even in a player pool for me today? I don't think he's in. There's so many guys that are going to be out that it's hard for him to not at least pick up some interest. So he's in a player pool. So yes, I like him, but I prefer Oladipo from the team. Who's a cheap target on Jock Market tonight, says JG. JG, you're in luck. We're going to be doing a Jock Market show at 7 p.m. tonight. Jock Market specifically, 7 p.m. to about 7:45. So tune in then. Tune in for the Jock Market show later tonight. We'll be doing a Jock Market specific show at 7 p.m. I'll be posting the scheduled stream shortly after this one. Do you like Oladipo, good sir? Yes, I do, good sir. He's in a player pool. I watched the NFL stream, says Jacob Coolong. Thank you. What'd you think of it? Did you have some fun? This beat is sick. I want to take a ride on your disco stick. What? Is Saturansky with 1.8 multiplier on Superdraft worth a lineup or two in the $20 game? Question Burn, let me tell you that right now. Saturansky for me is not somebody I believe I would be playing on Superdraft today. Let me just verify this. Yeah, Saturansky for me is my 44th overall Superdraft play, so not somebody I have interest in playing on Superdraft today. Didn't make a pool for me. DraftKings, totally different story. Looks great. Thoughts on Lauri Markkanen in a player pool, but that's about it. What do you think about Dame? Overlooked big time with CJ back and sky high over under. Yeah, that's the issue. I agree that he's being overlooked, but he's still the same price for a guy who's been averaging fucking like 1.3 fantasy points per minute. I'm only giving CJ 25 minutes and 1.1 fantasy points per minute, but it really does impact Dame. Dame's only at like 52 fantasy points for me today, which is clearly in a projection not enough to pay off his $10,800 price tag. Pretty massive. The Packers going to get Galladay? I would assume no. I would assume Fuller makes more sense for them, but I mean Galladay, if they were to go ahead and get him, sure. Yeah, I'll do it. We'll do it. If you currently do not yet follow me on Twitter, be sure to do that, and Instagram. I'll post a link to Twitter in the chat right now. What's the Jock Market? So the Jock Market, we'll talk about it more in the later stream. It's a fantasy sports stock exchange. So you can buy shares of these players. They added NHL, they're adding MLB, they have NFL when that's in season, they have golf, and they have NBA. We do the NBA show for them each Tuesday night. So it is a nice little platform to be checking out the Jock Market. You can buy shares of the players tonight, and depending on their fantasy points that they score compared to the rest of the players in the market, will determine your return on investment. Patriots. Bill slapped his balls on the table yesterday and today with the Hunter Henry, right? Favorite Cinderella team to make some noise in March Madness. My man John, I have not watched a game of NBA or college basketball in 2 to 3 years. I could not even tell you a single player in the college basketball landscape. I don't know a single player in college basketball. Not a single one. So I cannot tell you anything on that. But I could still probably beat 99.9% of, not that much. I could still beat at least 90+% of people in brackets. I can guarantee that, because people be picking way too many underdogs. People be picking, if you pick Gonzaga to win your bracket, I can't think of a worse pick. That is the worst leverage pick. People are picking them at 40+% right now on the ESPN bracketology thing, and they only have like a 25% probability of winning. So 15% more. So it's just like ownership in DFS, right? If a team's being 15% higher owned than they should, you probably should stay away from that person, right? Especially if you're competing against 5 other people, then sure, maybe not. But if you're competing against a lot of people, couple hundred, couple thousand, couple 100,000, yeah, you should probably not pick them at all. Hey Sal, hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Richard, too kind of you. I appreciate you. I am. What's your updated Dollaruski dozen? Yeah, we'll do the updated Dollaruski dozen, and then we'll get out of here because I got 2 hours before this next show, and I want to go get a workout in. My updated Dollaruski dozen: Moses Brown, Tomas Sadaransky, Tony Bradley, Emmanuel Quickley, Daniel Tice, Thad Young. In this order is my top-rated plays. Number 7, LeBron. Number 8, Polkaneski. Number 9, Larry Nance. Number 10, Alec Burks. Number 11, SGA. And number 12, Tobias Harris. Hey, Sal, you like Donovan Mitchell tonight? I do not. Gallinari looked decent if Capella sits. If Capella sits, he'll look decent, yes. Which guards on Super Jeff would you prioritize for cash when a lot of them project out similarly? I would prioritize the one who have higher multipliers. So, like the ones who have higher multipliers today are Quickly at a 1.75x, Sexton at a 1.55x. Sal, my man, happy Tuesday. Checking in from the treadmill, banging out the cardio. I'm about to go do some cardio. It's been raining here all day today, so I'll probably have to go on the treadmill, sadly. Dude, you already touched on some Super Draft plays tonight. Yep, and we just did yet again some top guard plays, Quickly and Sexton. Montrezl Harrell or Cantor today? I'll take Cantor. And on that, we're about to bounce. So just a reminder on Prize Picks, you can check it out. Link down below in the description. Use that code SAL. I'll make it easier for you if you want to check it out right now. I'll put the link into the live chat for the 250 or so of you currently still giving me your attention, giving me your time. Appreciate you all the time. So you can go ahead, you can check that link out right there. That'll take you over to Twitter, which will redirect you over to Prize Picks. Is Capella top 8 if he's in? No, he is not. Not for me. He'll be borderline like a top 15. But you can check out Prize Picks. You can use that code SAL. You'll get a free money match. And right now, we're waiting on the Capella news, because if Capella is out, go and smash John Collins. Don't do that type of a smash. But go ahead and gently caress your cursor button and push it in. But outside of that, the guys that we currently like on Prize Picks tonight, I continue to like Randle's over, but I already have it, so I'm not going to go back to it. I like Bam under 40 points tonight, 40 DraftKings points tonight. That's kind of like the last one that I would put into it, though. So Quickly, love over 27. Tobias Harris, really like, don't love, but really like over 38. John Collins, love over 32 if Capella sits. Cantor, really like over 32. So those are a couple options for you. And obviously, if you are a Patreon who has the projections, you can check out the rest. This was currently some of the top projected lineups that we have in the optimizer before I put any rules in, so obviously this stuff is going to change. But it's a pretty good lineup. I like the low ownership of SGA, Eric Bledsoe, and even Tobias Harris right now. So cool. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you all a ton. Hashtag Big Energy, says Jonathan Willison in the chat. I appreciate you, boss. Kyle Davis says, thanks, man. I appreciate you, boss. Yeah, if you got any time tonight at 7 p.m. East Coast time, we'll be live for 45 minutes breaking down the jock market NBA streets. You all rock. I appreciate you. Svi, debut in OKC, no interest. Appreciate you all a ton. Squeak, hope you have a good day as well. See y'all in the next one. Tomorrow. Live stream for golf in the afternoon. NBA video in the morning. NBA stream later in the day. Appreciate that. Sorry for the comment earlier. Was just curious because my sis is prescribed, says Duncan Harris. Duncan, I didn't see your comment earlier. Let me just see what you said. Duncan Harris says Patrick Williams over 22 fantasy points. That was the comment earlier. Yeah, you don't gotta say sorry for that, my man. You're just asking, my man. You don't gotta say sorry for that. I have him under that though. So don't worry about that at all. I'll answer your question. Lastly, Quickly, Randle, Tony Bradley, James, Tyson, and sorry. There you go. Looks like a pretty decent lineup for me. Peace out, gang. Appreciate you all the time. Have a great and safe rest of your night. Little mama, show me how you do it. Go ahead, get your ass into it. Move your hips like there ain't none to it. Hey, shake.